Hey, Phil.
Yeah.
What do we got here, man?
1983, made in the USA, Fender Telecaster Elite.
Okay. Interesting.
Very unique.
Interesting pickups.
They're active.
Very cool. Look at this.
Yep. It's a very major departure. 1980, late 80, early 81 through about 83 late. There was a weird shift at Fender. Fender
Okay.
had been bought by CBS in late 64, early 65. And
CBS Records?
yes,
Okay.
or might even have been the Columbia Broadcasting System, not sure. CBS Records and CBS, the network, is the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Just
Okay.
different divisions.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the 70s, CBS merged with Sony of Japan, became CBS Sony.
Okay.
Okay. Probably because Sony was in the music business and so was CBS. And they thought maybe it was a, marriage that made sense.
Yeah.
But in 1980, CBS was getting a little perturbed with Fender, I think, and what was going on there. And they had spent a lot of money and weren't seeing a lot of profit. So they sort of kind of said, we're going to get rid of Fender. And Sony said, oh, we'll take it. So
Okay.
Fender was taken over by Sony management.
No kidding.
And then they stopped all production in the United States.
Well, there it is. There's the Elite right there on the...
So what happened was they started Japanese manufacture of what we call Fender Contemporaries. You can't miss them. They all have old black necks.
Okay.
They're pretty rare now. They're kind of hard to find. People don't let go of them so easy because they're actually quite good playing guitars, and they're crafted in Japan.
Yeah.
But there was this demand for U.S. guitars, and people were ticked off, going, "I want to buy a U.S. Fender." Well, there weren't any.
They didn't exist.
They didn't exist. So what happened was they cut a deal. Fender cut a deal with Dan Smith.
Who's Dan Smith?
A luthier.
Oh, okay, all right.
Fender in Fullerton.
All right.
And they cut a deal with him to make whatever they needed for U.S. production. And
Yeah.
they started making all these oddball pieces,
Yeah.
like the Strat Elites and the Tele Elites. They even made some P-bass and jazz bass elite things, okay? And they also
They just called them Elites because they were American made by
They were
a...
American made. They had unique electronics, unique bridges, slightly different cosmetics, things like that.
So how many years did this last?
About 3 years.
So 83 to 86?
Yeah, like late
Ish,
80s,
somewhere
like
there?
early, like late 83
Okay.
kind of thing.
What's so... Is there anything... I mean, it's unique.
It's
Only
very
made for a
unique.
number of years. I don't know how many would have been made. Were they all special order, or did they just?
They were. all
Okay, so
pretty
they
much
weren't
special order.
spec made guitars. They weren't just flooding the market with them. Okay, so they just did it so that if someone bitched enough and wanted one and wanted to pay,
Yeah, exactly.
they got them. Okay,
And then
so
they-
is it upgraded electronics or just that
Oh,
it
very
was?
much so, yeah.
Okay, so
That's
they're
got-
better guitars. They're not just because.
They're not junk.
Okay,
They're just.
that was a question.
They're
Was
just uniquely different, and they're a little more handmade than a regular Fender would have been. It's not
at that
not
time, yeah.
production.
It's like a custom shop job, is what
Exactly,
it is,
exactly.
which is cool. But I mean, sometimes custom shop is just okay. It's custom shop. Doesn't mean it's better,
Well,
right?
I'll give you an
But
example.
this, I mean, what? So okay, go ahead.
Well, Gibson actually at one point in time didn't have a custom shop. What they did was they took a custom order and they would go and find a guitar that fit the custom order that was already in production, pull it out of production, take it to their custom area, do whatever modification
finish
was
it up.
necessary, take it and insert it back into the line to get finished. That was their version of a custom shop.
Okay.
Not that that was a bad thing.
It's an efficient way to make the tweaks to a guitar that was there.
but-
Yeah. It's just
but
efficient
But it didn't carry the custom shop prestige that we now know.
because it's from start to finish.
It's
In
one
the custom
luthier
shop.
builds one guitar.
One
That's
guitar,
a different
and that's
deal.
what this was.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. I mean, I think Dan probably had a team of 2 other guys.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it was a very
So
small
tell me about.
situation.
Tell me about these pickups and stuff. These like
They're active electronics.
uniquely very cool pickups,
If
or
you pick up the guitar and turn it over on the back, you'll see that it's got a unique backplate.
Oh yeah.
And there's a funny little cut in that backplate.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a?
That's where
a.
the battery box is.
Oh, the battery box is on the bottom there. Okay, it looks like it's cracked,
Yeah, it's not cracked.
but it's not. It's two
actually
different. You
cut
can
that
see
way.
by the screws that it's two different. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cut that way on purpose. That's where the battery is, and there's a circuit board inside.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. It's later that same, or a variation of that same circuit, became what we know as the Eric Clapton electronics.
Really?
Okay. But the Eric Clapton electronics really didn't come around until, I don't know, a little later in the 80s, like maybe 85, 6, somewhere in
Yeah.
the vicinity, when U.S. production resumed.
So
in
a couple
84,
a couple uses on it.
Yeah, it's a one-owner guitar. The guy bought it new, and he paid the money, and he played it and gigged it around Atlanta until just recently. Now he is finding that he's doing more acoustic gigs and doesn't really need it.